I'm Kerry Diot, Member of Parliament for Edmonton Griesbach. In these challenging times, governments are doling out untold amounts of money to assist citizens, many of whom have been unable to work. It's led to many people claiming that we need more government in our lives from now on to set up programs like guaranteed annual incomes. Some of the people are even critical of our democratic capitalist system in these times, saying it has failed people. And there's a notable rise in people calling for a move toward hardcore socialism and communism. But people who have lived under communism say, don't go there.
It's just unbelievable how we lived, how we had sort of nothing, and we didn't know that we were poor. Stalin decided that in order to subjugate people and annihilate millions of Ukrainians to begin with, that he decided there is no private property. Everything will be collective farming. Everyone will be equal. Everybody will be equal, and they were equal. They brought in first collectivization. Confiscated your land, everything that you had. If you protested, you say, well, my grandfather, my great-grandfather had this place, for example. We had so much land, and I have that land. Why do you take it away from me? Because it was capitalism. You were abused by the capitalists. That's why you are not progressing. You still own that piece of land. We remove all that. All of us will be equal.
First, they show you wherever they can that they know everything about you. Wherever and whenever they can do it. Secondly, the shortage of basic everyday stuff makes you think of how do I find a roll of toilet paper, and not about what the hell is going on in the government.
Of course, economic system, it was very bad. We had lack of everything, from food, for everything. You told about the vehicle, because this system, as a communist system, they spend a lot of time and money for military stuff and to fight capitalism.
70% of the GDP went to a military purpose, and only 30% of GDP of Soviet Union went to the general public purpose. We always was scared about the black Volga, that's a vehicle, Volga, that if you say something wrong, the black Volga might come after you and you just disappearing forever.
Well, our party's goal is socialism, that is, working class power with public ownership of the means of production and a planned economy, leading in the long term to communism. It still seems to me, although, yes, our support has increased over time, and the willingness, to listen to us, and openness to our ideas is definitely increasing. But still, the most important impact that we feel that we can have in terms of political struggle in Canada is to be involved with those mass movements, those democratic movements. Part of our part is just to be, people who go out to these demonstrations and take part in marches and, just like ordinary regular people, not to have any special role. But we do feel that we have a special role because we are Marxist-Leninists. We feel that we have an analysis of the world which is helpful, which can be useful to all those people who are struggling for for justice, for human rights, for a better life.
I think for people, normal people in Western society, it came time to wake up and start to do something. And because it may be going to be late.
You only have as much freedom as you have fought for and as you have won. That's something that everyone should remember. And that's what I'm trying to tell my grandkids, and if any young person asks me, that's what I'm going to tell them.
How can you praise that system that killed over 100 million people? No one could give me a clear answer. But what I really saw is that they wanted free stuff. They think that socialism is free stuff. And that's not the hardworking guy that's gonna go and be socialist.
And they just don't have a clue. They taken for granted the freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom to move from this point to that point. They have no clue that what they call it to themselves, how they would live there. They would be the first victims of the communism.
Maybe democracy is not perfect. There's nothing perfect, no system that is perfect, but democracy is our best choice. Ukraine must live on. It lives because our women and men have sealed their promise with Amen. Let us all stand for motherland with courage and a steady hand. At this decisive, timely hour, may heaven grant us greater power. This somber moment, let us pause. Remember those who for a cause had paid the highest price, their lives. God saw their grief, tears filled his eyes.